The delivery guy downstairs saw me and immediately bowed, apologizing profusely.
I'm so sorry, I lost your package. It's all my fault. I'll find a way to compensate you. I just hope you can give me some more time.
His nervous look reminded me of when I first started my career. I stopped in my tracks and comforted him, saying the package wasn't lost. I had already received the goods.
Really, it has not lost.
I just happen to know a little magic.
For real.
I curled the corner of my mouth, as if giving a piece of advice to my former self.
The rain is picking up. Time to head home. Stock up on supplies. This rain might not stop anytime soon.
With that, I opened my umbrella and disappeared into the Manhattan rain. Today's mission is to raid the supermarket. Most of the 10-year supplies I ordered online are in hand. The moment the systems torments will be the day the apocalyptic rain falls. I'm starting to get excited. Today, it's food's turn in the largest supermarket in New York. Everywhere I go, everything is shrunk and tossed into my briefcase. I had no intention of paying. As I walked out, the security alarm went off like crazy. But the fat security guard found absolutely nothing. Standing outside the mall, I wondered how to spend the last $100,000 on my maxed out credit card, until I saw that tactical compound bow hanging in the sporting goods store.
How much for this weapon?
This is a piece of art, a milestone in the history of human competitive sports.
Will you sell it for $100,000?
$100,000. Of course, I'll sell it.
After the deal, I grabbed a Starbucks coffee and got out of the self-service gas station outside my apartment. I sent a fake flight ticket screenshot to my brother, Jason.
Hi bro, the company is sending me on a last-minute business trip. I just sold you $500. Get yourself some takeout tonight.
Just 500? You're so stingy. Bro, fine, I got it. I'm watching Emily's TikTok live right now. It's so lit.
I immediately sent another message.
I still have $50,000 in cash in my bank card. It's under the pillow in my room. Don't you dare touch it.
Got it, bro.
As expected, after seeing the message, he immediately called an Uber and rushed to the apartment to hunt for the cash. I took the opportunity to walk into the gas station and used my shrinking ability to fill the empty Starbucks cup with gasoline. Conservative estimates suggest this stockpile will last until the end of the apocalypse. On the way home, a Ferrari was parked over the line at a crosswalk, with a blonde punk rolling down the window to blow smoke rings. I walked up and spat right on his cigarette. He got out of the car, cursing and ready to pick a fight. But before he could even find his footing, I kicked him hard in the groin. He collapsed in the rain, and as I walked away, his hysterical screams echoed behind me.
Oh my god, where's my car? It was just parked right here. Where did the car go?
Where else could it go? I used my ability to shrink it and put it in my briefcase. After getting home, I began the final layout. I took out the miniature villa model, placed it in the living room, and pushed all the shrunk supplies, food, furniture, and packages inside. Then, I hid the model in the central air conditioning duct in the ceiling. Doing all this, I looked at this high-rise apartment where I had lived for 10 years, feeling nothing but regret. I sealed the entrance of the model, leaving only a small hole and a hanging nylon line. Alright, I gazed at the pouring rain outside the window. See you in 10 years. Grabbing the end of the nylon line, I gave my final command to the system.
System, shrink me 1,000 times.
The whole world instantly magnified before my eyes, and I was left hanging in midair, clutching the line. Suddenly, I heard the door open. It was my brother, Jason. I quickly activated the miniature winch, and I was rapidly pulled into the model bunker. Right before entering, I caught a glimpse of Jason coming into the room. But he didn't notice me at all. I was as tiny as a bug to him.
Smith, you bastard. You tricked me into coming all this way for nothing. Are you even human?
Jason couldn't find the money, so he started kicking the sofa in a fit of rage.
Wait, how do I feel like there's something missing from the house?
He watched as the mountains of supplies that were once piled high had completely vanished. Just then, the scheduled text message I sent him in advance arrived.
Hi bro, I'll be taking your supplies with me. I've already boarded the plane. Bye-bye.
Bastard, you absolute bastard.
Jason was so livid that he started smashing everything in sight.
No, this bastard is lying to me. He definitely went through a rebirth too. Is he even human? Deceiving his own younger brother like this. Fine, I'll just wait and see what use that useless shrinking system of yours is. When you come crawling back to beg me, see if I give you the time of day. What a stupid Smith.
I was snickering behind the small hole above his head what flight could possibly take off in this extreme hurricane. I shut off the hoist and completely blocked the entrance with a metal sheet. Flicking the switch, the all spectrum LED strips lit up. The shrunken Ferrari was parked right by my feet. I pressed on the gas, and it had way more kick than any remote-controlled car. I moved the appliances into the luxury villa, connected them to the small wind turbine for power, and then soaked in the bathtub, eating the snacks I inherited from my brother while watching the news about this eerie rainstorm on TV. Just then, I received a private message on my phone from my female boss, Sarah.
What do you actually know? What does this rain even mean?
Feel the apocalypse, pretty baby.
In the post-apocalyptic world, her top-tier looks are the most lethal poison. Considering the fact that you always paid my salary on time, consider this my final warning. Wrapped in a bath towel, I walked into the living room and turned on the surveillance screen, ready to enjoy the apocalypse as a side dish for my meal. On the screen, my brother Jason had shifted from fuming with rage to laughing maniacally.
I still have the 1000 times magnification system. Smith, the day will come when you run out of food. When you're on your knees begging me, I won't even spare you a glance. You dare betray me, then rot in agony in this apocalypse.
He sneered, turning around to pull the neighbor from across the hall, Emily, inside.
One apocalyptic rainstorm and the 1000 times magnification system. Jason, I think you've really lost your mind.
But when she saw that massive apple in the living room, weighing several hundred pounds, the words were caught in her throat. Jason said, looking like he was presenting a treasure.
This is the apple I magnified earlier. Pretty impressive, isn't it?
As he spoke, he magnified a single grape by 1000 times. With a loud boom, even the solid wood floor tiles were smashed and cracked.
Oh my god, that's incredible. Jason, thank goodness you're here.
With me here, Emily, you don't have to worry about running out of supplies.
If it keeps raining like this, won't the lower floors get flooded?
Don't worry, the flood won't reach us up here on the top floor.
My parents and my older brother Alan are still downstairs.
Your parents and your older brother Alan?
I guess that Jason was back at it again, indulging in his American hero dream.
Jason, what are you thinking about?
No, I was just thinking whether I should hurry and bring your brother and my future in-laws up here to settle them into your new apartment. Before picking up your family, let's gather all the shelf-stable supplies in the apartment building first. Once we magnify them 1000 times and sell them off, we'll become the next Wall Street tycoons.
It's still the clever head of yours that works best, Jason. As expected of an Ivy League student. Truly impressive.
Jason was completely lost in his pig-like, foolish laughter.
Oh, right. Where's your brother, Smith?
Don't mention that bastard. He ditched me and ran off first. Let him rot in this apocalypse. Without my magnification system, he's absolutely nothing.
Jason is truly someone you can count on.
Munching on sliced watermelon, I couldn't help but give a thumbs up to that former cheerleader. My foolish brother is completely finished. Constant torrential rain has totally submerged New York, turning high-rise buildings into isolated islands. At first, Jason stood at the top with his abilities, acting as a savior for 3 months. But then he was knocked down by Emily's third brother, Alan, and turned into nothing more than a tool for magnifying food. He didn't dare to resist, because in this building, if a conflict broke out and destroyed the structure, his out-of-control ability would only bury everyone alive. He was afraid to die, but he didn't understand the rules of the American post-apocalyptic wasteland. Only guns and fists hold the right to speak. After being hung upside down by Emily's brother, Alan, Jason spent every day crying out in utter despair.
Brother Smith, save me.
I wavered a few times, but the moment I thought back to the second he pushed me off the high rise in my past life, my heart turned to ice. The grudges from that past life were already settled long ago. Just accept the fate you've chosen for yourself. After finishing that to myself, I paid no more attention. Stability didn't last long. Outside the mini bunker, a mutant cockroach the size of an elephant suddenly appeared. Scared out of my wits, I blurted out,
Help, save me.
Below, the upside-down Jason tilted his head, seemingly hearing my voice. But immediately after, a leather whip cracked down hard, and Alan ordered him to get back to work.
Finish this batch, and I'll let you down to rest for 10 minutes. Now move it.
I scrambled back to the villa, tearing the tactical compound ball off the wall. I never thought this toy from a sporting goods store would actually come in handy. But the mutant cockroach's vitality was incredibly tenacious. It took me a full 3 days, using traps and gasoline fire attacks, to finally kill it. The price was losing half of my greenhouse crops. This woke me up completely. There is no absolute safe paradise in the apocalypse. I decided to seal the vents with high-strength iron mesh a Herculeable task. I survived 10 years of even greater hardship in my past life. Now, facing threats and difficulties is just a side dish. I encouraged myself. I returned to the villa, set up the micro-forging furnace, and used iron wire to build a defensive line. Just as I was about to rest for the night, I saw a shocking scene on the monitor. Jason finally resisted. He found an opportunity to kill Emily's brother, Alan. I thought he had finally awakened. But facing the tearful brainwashing of that green tea Emily, his heart softened again. After one night, he was tied up and hung upside down once more. This building has welcomed its new queen. To deal with the crisis, building a protective net is my top priority. I split my time in half, 50% for building the net and 50% for physical training. At night, I use my fully charged computer to study weapon-making materials, especially firearm blueprints. Another 3 months passed. The iron mesh was initially established, and I also built several hydroponic greenhouses to grow grain and vegetables. When I finally had some free time to check the monitors, the situation in the building had completely reversed. Prolonged torrential rain and despair tore the rules apart. Neighbors dissatisfied with the exploitation launched a rebellion. Emily's parents died tragically, and she fell to the lowest level as a slave. As for Jason, he's still that pathetic, upside-down, nuclear-powered rice cooker. The writers studied his system thoroughly, leaving him with only one movable finger. Touching free triggers his system to magnify things 1,000 times. I watch all this with cold eyes. Just as I expected, once a person with special abilities is exposed and controlled, they become the most miserable existence. Jason's eyes have gone numb. That clear stupidity can no longer be seen. Unfortunately, it's too late. Because of Jason's existence, there's a constant supply of food in this building, leading it into a brief paradise phase. A new order was quickly established, and the leader of the uprising became the king of the building. The ecology here has turned into a pyramid structure, while Jason is a dollar pariah outside the hierarchy, with absolutely no dignity. I was just a bystander, enjoying life in my own villa, until a colony of ants crawled in through the vents. To defend my home, I fought a desperate battle against the ant army. This war lasted for over 1 month. The ant army was nearly wiped out, and I suffered heavy losses as well. For the following 6 months, I spent all my time frantically reinforcing the defenses of the ventilation system. Over 1 year has passed in the apocalypse. As I watched the monitors, Jason's eyes were lifeless. He was as dull as a puppet. Seeing him living days like years, my heart finally felt at ease. The power in the building has shifted once again, this time to outsiders. More and more people are running kayaks across the abyss of rain, seeking refuge here. After a tragic gangster shootout, the surviving winners established a new dynasty. They utilized food to connect with other buildings in New York to set up black market trade, not worrying at all that the dynasty would collapse. Because as long as Jason's living rice cooker was still alive, they wouldn't lack supplies. Jason has completely become an emotionless slave. Things have long spun out of my control. I can only live as a bystander in my own micro world. Everything was fine originally, until that mutant centipede broke through the defenses and intruded. Facing this terrifying giant insect, like a flexible train, none of my weapons could injure it. I had to give it my all. I launched a charge driving a micro version Ferrari, finally exchanging it for a chance to make touch.
Shrink gets smaller.
The terrifying centipede was instantly shrunk 1,000 times. I raised my foot, and with a splat, it burst with juice, easily crushed to death. Having stayed in the building's ventilation ducts alone for 2 years, I stubbornly survived by reinforcing my defenses and eliminating intruders, until my phone connected to a weak signal and I received a private message.
I am coming to find you.
It was sent by Sierra, the former female CEO. I replied to her that she could come to find me. Downstairs, the world has long since changed. A new leader, a fanatical Doomsday cultist, has actually deified my upside-down brother, Jason. He uses Jason's ability to create panic, and then uses divine power to control people's hearts. This god is still miserably hanging in the temple on the top floor. Soon, residing above the temple. What exactly am I? I felt a kind of long-term, zero communication fear and loneliness. I'm like a god peeking at the floors below through monitors, yet unable to change anything. Life should have gone on like this, until a group of vagrants arrived in a heavy, modified submarine. Among them was a long-haired beggar, stinking and acting crazily. Everyone was distancing themselves from her. That's when my phone received another text message.
Smith, I am here.
The call was broken. I felt an extreme craving for communication. I must save Sarah. I had built a micro-drone out of scrap metal, but it crashed while approaching the lobby. Living alone for such a long time made me rarely affected by fear. I caught a fly and started simple systemic domestication. That was until an armed guard in the lobby discovered that under this smelly beggar's disguise, she was actually a breathtakingly beautiful woman.
Catch her for me. Quickly.
At the exact moment a swarm of thugs pounced, I finally controlled the fly to find Sarah. Decisively activating the system, I instantly brought her back to my ventilation duct hidden. I placed her on the leather sofa. She cooled up, and I only heard her faint murmur, "Hungry." I immediately brought over high-calorie cold fresh food. She was like a starving ghost reincarnated, grabbing the roast meat and shoving it frantically into her mouth.
Slow down. Food is the one thing I like the least here.
I stroked her tangled hair, accidentally pulling off her mud disguise and revealing her fair skin.
What on earth is going on downstairs?
Can you wait until I finish eating?
She didn't stop eating until she couldn't cram in another bite. I urged her to take a bath in the tub, but those eyes had lost the spark of the Wall Street elite she once was. After her bath, she sat uneasily on the single sofa furthest away from me.
To think you've actually made it here, made yourself at home. You must have suffered a great deal on the way, haven't you?
I pulled her close to me. Those words seemed to strike a chord deep within her, and her tears wouldn't stop falling. She leaned on my shoulder, and only after she had cried herself out did she finally speak.
Actually, I stayed in my Wall Street office building for over 2 years.
Oh, all by yourself.
Does that surprise you?
A little bit.
On that last day of work, I was watching the lobby monitors and saw you making so many crates of deliveries disappear. I realized something was wrong. Most people had already left the office by then, so I dismissed the security and locked the high-level explosion-proof doors. I survived for 2 years on the building's stockpiled supplies.
Then why didn't you contact me?
There was no power. At first, I was too proud to reach out to you, so I kept contacting my family outside Manhattan. They were frantic, waiting for the National Guard to rescue them. Later, the building lost power completely, and I was cut off from the world. I enjoyed more than 2 years in total darkness, and then the fleet arrived.
What kind of ships?
Military industrial submarines.
And then you were captured and violated by the thugs.
Can't you think of me in a better light?
She poked my head in frustration and pushed me away.
It's the apocalypse of America. It's hard for me to imagine a beautiful woman falling into their hands having any normal experiences.
That's my father's ship. My father is a conglomerate tycoon, incredibly wealthy. That Wall Street firm was just a toy he gave me to play with. When I went missing, he built that ship specifically to find me. By the time he rescued me, we found out that our family's massive inland underground shelter, one that still maintained civilized order, had long since collapsed due to a rebellion. With no place left to stay, my father took over as captain and started drifting with me and the few loyal crew members we had left. Fearing that my beauty would cause trouble, he made me look like a beggar.
Don't the other crew members know who you are?
They're all dead.
Your father didn't.
Yes,
Sierra's face grew dim with despair.
I didn't expect that after a single meal, the entire crew would be poisoned to death. My father cleared out all hidden threats and pretended to be a kind-hearted captain, picking up surviving drifters along the way, perhaps as a form of penance for his sins. The reorganized fleet began its continuous wandering.
So, do you want to save your father?
My father isn't in the submarine anymore. He was betrayed and killed in a gang trade-off gone wrong. The newly elected thug captain didn't kick me out because my father had set a rule before, that I was the ship's good luck charm.
Does anyone actually believe that?
Sierra let out a tragic, hollow laugh.
Actually, it's because the self-destruct mechanism for the nuclear submarine is in my hands.
She pulled out an old, rugged, explosion-proof phone.
My phone is embedded with a self-destruct program, and it can also temporarily paralyze the submarine's operating system. As time went by, captains came and went, but I always remained the safest good luck charm on the ship.
You've been through so much.
I held her tightly, comforting her with everything I had.
I'm okay. Before he passed away, my father asked me if there was anywhere I wanted to go. I told him I only wanted to find you, saying how confident you were when you left me your address back then. I felt that maybe only by finding you could I find a true sanctuary.
It turns out that finding me had become the sole target keeping her alive in that desperate situation. Tears of emotion rolled down my face. I had become her hope for survival, even her spiritual pillar.
Smith,
You should change how you address me now.
boss,
The deal noted.
Wrapping her arms around my neck, Sierra looked into my eyes with a lingering, smoldering gaze and asked seriously,
what? What do you want me to call you?
Call me darling or call me husband.
In your dreams.
Amidst our playful banter, I caught her hands and our eyes locked.
Be my woman, live here with me, I will protect you, and I will guard the rest of your life.
The atmosphere was perfect, and I carried her to the master bedroom. Suddenly, she pointed at that pile of old, worn-out inflatable silicone dolls in the corner and asked,
What on earth are those things?
A cold shiver ran through me, and I feigned a stern scolding towards her.
Don't sweat the details. You can't talk about your predecessors like that.
You perverted jerk.
Blushing, she grabbed my ear and twisted it in a full circle. I cried out in pain. After being suppressed for over 2 years, the feeling of finally having someone to accompany and communicate with me, it's truly wonderful. Stay tuned, the story is about to get even more exciting.